this outside railing that wraps around a heaven. That is such a problem. It seems like on CT side, you almost always have to dedicate someone just to watching that one turnaround. And if someone sneaks by, it circumvents all the CTs. So it could be a huge thorn on your side, a huge liability if you go down a man.
Now, it's interesting you mentioned that, Launders, because Angel was the man that kept using that on T side against Dignitas. He was getting into heaven from outside. What an opening pick that is, though, from Disco Doppler. Zelos with the second. Bomb's been dropped out in radio. And in doing so, a decent crossfire has been set up. But I was about to say that Zelos is pretty low on health, so he has to be very careful. He's been dropping ramp. In the meanwhile, the bomb has been put down again. Picked back up again from Bondik. The very capable hands of Bondik. He will secure himself the first kill, but 3 players pushing out of ramp. He was not expecting that explosion. And it will be Epsilon to claim the first round in this best of 3.
Almost forgot Epsilon were Swedish, and then I heard the crowd. Yeah, that's a good reminder. And you know what's funny is that it was Immortals to pick Nuke when they played it against Optic, and then they lost to Optic, who Stanislaw said he had not played the new Nuke at all. He had not played Nuke since old Nuke was out. So, you know, what happens is on a new map, even if you have strategies, something can always be a curveball from a team that has no idea what they're doing because the meta is so underdeveloped, right?
Well, the interesting thing is, I believe there was an interview afterwards with HellRaisers where they straight up said they didn't really play Nuke that much themselves. Because we thought them being so convincing against Dignitas that maybe this was the ace up their sleeve.
Right.
But apparently they hadn't put too much thought into it. I'm not sure how much of that's true. And obviously since the major qualifiers, there has been a little bit of time to maybe get some more tactics together.
You know, let's say you're a team that's been around as long as Virtus Pro, then this is still pretty much Nuke apart from that outside railing. Right. Oh, there's a 1 from Angel. Always scary, even on the eco rounds, to go 5v4.
I feel sorry for the observer more so than us.
Yeah.
Casting Nuke is a real nightmare.
Yes, and obviously Vince is referring to the verticality of the map, where players can just be layered on top of each other. That means heaven, that means the floor of upper, and then underneath.
Effectively 3 levels of map.
Yeah, 3 levels of tilt.
Very true. You have the sites pretty much on top of one another. Here is HellRaisers looking to push out onto A through Squeaky. And that's going to be easy pickings for Rez. Just has to hold down left click, and Freddy and Disco going to clean up. Pretty convincing round overall, although Epsilon did lose 2 players in the process due to those 1-taps.
Busting out the Super Soaker on top of Hut is actually a great idea. The choke points are so small there, you almost can't miss. And there's the Falma spray, right? You can pretty much pre-fire that door once it opens and hope you hit something. I mean, there's no new angle that someone can peek you from. And yeah, Epsilon are going to be feeling really good about the fact that they got the pistol. I'm sure the pick of Nuke is a curveball, and there's no way they were prepared for this. I mean, I would highly doubt it.
I'm just going off one performance that I personally witnessed. HellRaisers, most of their aggression came through outside from Angel and through Squeaky. A lot of rushes down the one vent now. Used to be vents, of course. Now there's only one entrance and exit point. So certainly watch out for that once the grenades and the weapons are picked up. Again, they have the Eagles coming through into round number 3. Fairly patient approach so far for HellRaisers, not going for any early force buys. XM, UMP, P90, real mixture of weapons in the mix. There's Freddy with his XM headshot. HellRaisers will have a buy coming through now.
Yeah.
Let's see how they're going to make it work.
Yeah, so again, on the old Nuke, right, the best place to go as a terrorist in general was outside. It was the easiest way to get map control. Like, you could win a fight there it was kind of the mid of Nuke, in a sense. And, like, upper rushes were really unfavorable, and now, like, a lot of that's changed, so maybe ramp and upper are options in themselves. And it depends how well or what the results were from HellRaisers when they were practicing it, how much it worked for them. But the bread and butter for T-side would be try to get outside control. And with this new railing, makes it even more incentivized. Wow.
Absolutely.
Angel's already in secret.
He's so aggressive on these T rounds, but Disco will pick up the kill, only losing 27 health in the process. Draken misses his shot, but great start for Epsilon. Right from the beginning. Interesting enough, Zero's got a Zeus in his back pocket, as opposed to more grenades. What do you reckon? Is that just a misbuy? I would assume so.
Oh yeah, I guess so. If he had bought down to 0, which I can't see.
Skimping out on nades to get his use is, in a rifle round, never really what you're going to go for. Oscar, in the meanwhile, has picked up a kill. It's going to be ramped this aggressed on, so going for more of a spread out aggression the HellRaisers. Stick up, throwing over the Molotov into the vent. That keeps one player at bay, but this is a very spread up HellRaisers. They're not really pushing together just yet.
This is actually more frightening for the CTs, right? As long as HellRaisers play carefully enough. I mean, they can wait for a mistake to rotate and come out. Actually getting a little bit frisky by himself as Tico, and then he goes down. And now they have a lot of info. I mean, no one else has followed him downstairs. Two players from HellRaisers, however, are upstairs and ready to plant, so Hut not going to be a problem for them. Neither is Mini.
Mind games playing out for HellRaisers so far, but the retake is coming in. They're still in center in a couple flashes. Oscar's going to miss his shot, now it's 1-0. First kill goes his way, but his position is now known. He's going to be looking for the second spray, but Epsilon are up to the task. Another round goes their way, 4-0 already. And against Dignitas, CT was the weak side for HellRaisers.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, they really are in tough spots, right? On the CT side, you don't know where a terrorist has found his way into. You don't know what angles he's holding, and while you're just trying to cover all your ground, right, trying to recollect yourself after going down 2 people, you can easily just get caught off guard, shot in the side of the head, and realize what site is being taken. So pretty carefully played from Epsilon. And they survived with all 3 of their players, actually 2 of them. But managing in that 3v3 to only lose 1 member, that's pretty good.
HellRaisers, though, as a result of getting the bomb plant, have a few more grenades at their disposal. CZ for Angel, but the rest will be moving through into round 5 with AK-47. Sticko watching for potential aggression from Epsilon. Very much a feely round for HellRaisers, not really playing anything too fast. And this is the default they went back to before, so I wonder how long it will be before we do start to see the squeaky rushes come to fruition. Because these slow rounds just haven't been paying off for them so far. Yeah, you know, at a certain point, if HellRaisers continue to lose, and they have an opportunity here. They're going to be pushing through, but the flashes are on point from the CTs. Rez with 2. Epsilon have looked very comfortable so far on the CT side. Angel now all by his lonesome. He had the CZ at the start of the round, and he's going to be the last player to drop.
And these rounds are looking hardly different than old Nuke, right? These upper rushes that putter to a halt before they even start. I mean, a player at Mustang shooting feet in Hut, right? That's such a powerful position. Still exists and still a problem, apparently. But I wonder if there's the issue for HellRaisers is a confirmation bias, right? Playing out scrims and then getting results versus teams who don't actually play like Epsilon are playing now, and then relearning the map or having new things thrown at them that they didn't expect.
Good point. May not have had too many results against teams that can really take them to the distance, and therefore assume that they're beasts on Nuke when that may not be the case.
Right.
Full-on deco, the purest sense of the word. Full-on deagles, nothing else. Actually, Angel has a bit of Kevlar as well. Other than that is full-on Desert Eagle. There's Oscar with his 1-tap. Bondix looking for one onto Catwalk. Of course, Catwalk now a little bit more isolated than it was before. You can only get to half of it. Brain over does block the other half over the main push and squeaky door and such. Another of the few changes that have been made. It's on the second time of asking. I'm about to say it's a pretty important shot to miss. Manages to connect the dots on the second time. Rez is there with the UMP, and that leaves just Bondic and Zero with the unenviable task of trying to clutch this 2-on-4. I think Bondic did just catch a glimpse of Rez. But Rez is there for 0 anyway, so this round is going to be going the way of Epsilon.
Yeah, it's not looking good already. You could tell that HellRaisers are a little bit off kilter, and a part of them is probably thinking, should we have just picked a map that we know we would have won on, or know we would have had a 70% chance on? Yeah. I kind of appreciate the fact that they picked that they're trying it out, but that might be a hard lesson for them. And there's potential that Epsilon are relatively prepared on it. Maybe feel just comfortable in general. Naturally good on it. A lot of things that could have happened.
That's the thing with Epsilon. Up until DreamHack Tours, I personally had casted them a few times. Not that often. I do question how much HellRaisers really knew about them coming into this.
Right.
So it could be a case of research not quite paying off, allowing Nuke to go through. There's Draken again, doing work with the AWP. Angel managing to push in, but you see very split approaches again from HellRaisers, not a lot of cohesion. The one time we saw them push together, they got flashed out and wrecked through Squeaky Door, so that may very well have put doubt in the back of their mind now.
Yeah, even a second time in Hut from that previous round, the they grouped up and got destroyed.
Second kill going their way as well. Zelos looking to maybe push through. There is a wall of smoke to contend with. Disco playing slow, and really at this point, all Epsilon have to do is just hold position. Disco gets the kill before dying, which is pretty significant. It's really the best case scenario for him. I wonder how long it's going to be before HellRaisers decide to call that pause if it continues to go in this fashion. They do have a real shot for maybe picking this round up, but Freddy with a quick-fire double.
Wow.
Behind the A site.
No slouch. No slouch whatsoever. Yeah, and I wonder when that pause is going to come out. I think we had Oscar just disconnect, rage quit maybe.
Yeah, it seemed to DC halfway through that round, so hopefully he's going to be back in. There we can see.
You know, one player that's going to be especially taxing on a new map is the Opera, right? All the new angles that you have to learn.
Yes.
That doesn't come instantly.
And when they played against Dig, actually Oscar didn't have a fantastic game. It was Angel and Sticko who were the two top fraggers. I think Zero was up there as well. So it's definitely a map where he doesn't necessarily fire on all cylinders. And Angel's gone down. We are going to see another squeaky push. This time around, Zero is going to get the opening pick and the second one as well. This is much better from HellRaisers. Can they get a third? Heaven was beckoning, and Disco will try and slide his way out of there, but eats a grenade for his troubles. Bomb planted. HellRaisers looking to finally get themselves on the board. Zelos coming under heavy attack. That being said, HellRaisers have plenty of low players. Zero's on 28, Oscar's on 16. Draken's still looking pretty healthy as Zelos pushes up. A lot of the smoke pretty much saving his life. As he dropped down, Draken's picked up a second kill. This is now very doable for HellRaisers to be throwing the incendiary onto the side. Draken with the third one, and now looking to aggress onto it. They have the kid as well. They have the time to play with. Bondik goes in for the frag, but he's going to get picked off from Draken with his 4-man. And the defuse as well. Epsilon with a sublime retake. What was that, a 2v4?
Yeah, 2v4. A few players from HellRaisers there were kind of low, but they really just didn't get anything going, and I was fearing for them when whoever it was at ramp ended up dying. I mean, here's the 3 entries that come out almost instantly. Here's a site to themselves. Yeah, they take some damage, but they get after plants, right? The time's ticking down. They have man advantage. They have people come in and retake spots that they can expect, and they still manage to end up losing it. Wow.
That's a round you should never lose for HellRaisers. And I think that maybe plays into their mindset at this point. Epsilon coming into this tournament probably feeling like they had no pressure on their shoulders. Honestly, a lot of people probably didn't expect them to get too far. Very similar to Tours as well. They were one of the standout teams for me. Surprised me a great deal. So far, I think it's safe to say they've been surprising HellRaisers. Probably still spinning a little bit, not sure what's going on. Again, they're getting outside control time after time, but they're doing nothing with it. It's getting downstairs that seems to be the problem through Secret. Freddy close range has dropped the bomb out. That's a horrible place for Sticko to have dropped it. They could be able to get back on it as Freddy's gone down, but he did witness the bomb drop. Oscar's there for the frag. And then Angel falls instantly afterwards. Rez is going to get smoked out, but the smoke's not actually on point. He can still peer across onto the site itself. And this could bait HellRaisers into a massacre. They're going to be coming out right here, right now. The trace is coming through the smoke. Here comes the spray from Rez, nearly connecting a bunch of shots onto the aggressing tees, and once again, HellRaisers are collapsing.
Whoa.
Oh, Oscar with 2 beautiful frags.
Oh my god.
Can we get a 1G spam in chat, please? I don't understand what he's going for. Unfortunate.
Jeez. They cannot get anything going. They're trying to kill people from lobby. Not like this.
That body language paints the full picture.
That's a universal sign for not like this.
It. That's a universal sign for get me the hell out of Nuke.
I wish he took that shot. I feel like with Oscar it hits.
The jump shot.
Yeah.
I would have lost my voice, like straight up. So, HellRaisers still not pausing.
Ooh.
Nice frag.
Smoking the molly, interesting.
Freddy on the site. Ooh, will be disappointed he didn't get any kills from that. He did tag up to very low, however. Draken missing out on his opportunity to strike.
Looks like a good Molotov.
Yeah, it was a decent Molotov, but it seems out of nowhere. HellRaisers very well are in a position where they could make it work, and this is the push I was talking about before from Angel. Getting outside, headshot, execution style. Onto Draken in the up shot afterwards. HellRaisers make amends for that previous mishap in the 4-on-2.
I think playing fast might be their best friend, right? They've got a lot of players, first of all, that do well at a high pace. So to go slowly maybe isn't the answer, especially on this brand new map. I mean, catching players off guard. Also, Epsilon are very used to having at least 10 or 15 seconds to just get set up. And I thought that was really nice. The molly into lobby, and then the smoke immediately from HellRaisers just to call it out, and then bust out through it. Made a lot of sense. Very sensible play.
Oh, Oscar.
Ooh.
I was a bit worried for him there. I thought he was going to TK somebody as they ran by. It was looking a bit sketchy. The Doppler. It's there again for 2. Like every trade going the way of Epsilon thus far. Bondic now gets the kill, and Zelos is trying to peer out the shadows. I don't know what's going on with the observers. You just dropped the keyboard, or what's happening? 1v2, let's have a look at the graph chart, mate.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's take some screenshots. T-tours.
Bomb planted. Draken comes down, misses the no-scope. He's asking a lot of lands. The second one, however. Bondic in the new Toxic. Of course, this is a different angle as a window as well. Hello.
Yes.
I'm throwing it out there.
I know what's happening right now. Draken's busting his way down to inner. He's going to smoke out the room.
Radio broadcast for us.
Yeah, he's going to get on the bomb.
Yep.
He's about to stick it. I can see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Wow, next level, mate. I'm waiting for the... Oh, there we go, Bondic is on top of the side, gets the kill.
Jeez.
Oh, HellRaisers take a second. So basically, what we did there, we missed all of the boring stuff, but we got to the business end.
The meat of it, yes.
You're welcome, chat.
No problem.
9-2. But again, HellRaisers rounds. One was off an eco, just a straight-up charge. The other was a 1v1, very narrow clutch. So it doesn't instill too much confidence.
No. Were they back-to-back, actually? Or no, were they back-to-back? I actually think they might have been. 9-1, 9-2. Yeah, I think so.
Judging from the economy of Epsilon, it would appear that's the case.
I have a goldfish memory.
Me too. CZ, P90, there is an AWP. Maybe HellRaisers, this is their crutch back into the map. And indeed, this best of 3. Draken. Still outside again. Sticker's going to be charging through. Interestingly enough, when HellRaisers do this, it's without flashes, without smokes, it's raw entry fragging. And that may very well catch Zelos off guard, who was expecting the telegraph before the initial charge came in. And with that information, they managed to push right down onto B. The bomb's been planted in amongst all of the action and in amongst all the chaos. And again, Toxic is going to be assumed. Rez in Decon now going to be moving up the new stairs. Of course, he didn't used to be on Nuke. And Bondic in an identical position to where he clutched from last time. With Epsilon's economy in the shape it is, this is looking like it has save written all over it. But Rez with his CZ may try and force the issue. It is the most expendable weapon. It's picked off from behind, and HellRaisers looking good for a third round.
Yeah. And suddenly they're coming together with a half. Yeah, just like that. Very, very dominant round. They just were able to also plant on the other site for a second time. That was lower. Keep everyone alive. Now, if they can do something similar again, I mean, the problem is that at the moment they're a one-trick pony. They can get away with the fast plays. They just can't do it slowly ever. And if Epsilon use their grenades early, then what's HellRaisers play? If they deny these entries, I mean, they found a new choke point in a ramp, but reinventing themselves is going to be the main issue.
So Draken's AWP, the only thing that managed to make through into round 13 for Epsilon. Typically he's played outside. This time he goes for a fast push through hut, mixing things up, and he is going to be rewarded for his aggression. Claims life for Sticko, one of the key members of HellRaisers on Nuke. And the CZ aggression for Disco Doppler puts him in radio. So, the plot may very well thicken. I guess, can we still call this radio now, seeing as there are no radios present? Maybe vending machine room? I don't know. He's pushing anyway. He's hungry for some snacks, and he's landed himself the kill on Bondic. AK changes hands, and the bomb dropped as well. So HellRaisers now have to start to make a move back towards the vending machines. See if we can get their hands on this. Look at Disco Doppler's position. This is perfect. Will Zero ever expected him to have pushed all the way out?
Oh my gosh.
And be in this location, but
It's timing right now.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god,
oh,
wow.
Disco.
I mean, he has that info. He also has outside. He knows he can flank. He has some idea of where they're going. Oh, but it's upper that's already been conceded.
Pretty much just got blocked on that occasion. He was hoping for that kill. He was desperate for it. The bomb's been planted anyway. What a strange, sketchy round of Counter-Strike this has been. It's going to come to a climax very shortly. You have to assume as Oscar and Angel are pulling down players with ease. Draken sees the barrel of the gun sticking out, actually lands the shot but doesn't secure the kill. What was that, the shoulder of Oscar partially through the floor? Very unfortunate for Draken. It looked like it should have been a kill.
Definitely a tough angle, it looks like. Will he have opposition coming for him? Yeah, it does. Angel, first one to take a fight. They know where he is now, but it's just such a huge save to be able to recycle. Oh, wow, he actually dies. Fair play, I didn't even realize. I mean...
That's it, right? Nuke, it's still new, finding the proximity in which you're safe. But
yeah,
you're not,
you weren't safe there on the old one. It's just been so long.
Yeah, definitely. But after all that work to save it, right at the end, nabbed away from him.
Glad I hyped it up. 2 rounds remain, and we've got a full buy versus full buy, something we haven't seen too often here.
That does hurt Draken a little bit. He's got no grenades coming through into this, no sidearm either, so that could very well prove to be an issue. Not if he's going to land shots, though. That's a good way of bouncing back. But Angel taking no prisoners, right down into secret. And this is where it starts to get worrying for the CTs, because now there's more angles you have to watch out for. Vent is a very real possibility, and that's where Angel's coming down. Oh, the timing again working against Angel originally, but...
That was quite risky from Freddy.
It really was. Now Zelos get the spray finally. We'll have it on Sticko, 3 on 3. Nice shot from Draken. Angel and Zero. Now all that remain. Again, the bomb is dropped out in a salvageable position for HellRaisers. 53 seconds to play with. It hasn't been the smoothest Counter-Strike, but it's been entertaining so far, seeing how these two teams are duking it out together. And
Draken seems like quite an apt opper on this map. Oscar hasn't had that much impact so far. I mean, that being said, his job is harder on the T side, and we'll see more on CT, but...
I feel like Nuke's a harder map to create chances on from a T's perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas you can be quite a static AWPer and get a lot of...
Someone's got to basically give you that frag, otherwise.
Yeah, and that's what Draken's been doing. And credit too, he's been playing very well outside. Angel's been pushing, his back is to the wall. And there's a player out there, it's going to be Draken. The man we just mentioned, 10 seconds. HellRaisers have to get a move on, the bomb's been planted. Draken on just a meter or so away from Angels for so long. Zelos just spins around, claiming the frag, and now Zero's given his position away. There's a molly, there's a HE, and a flash, all ready to be used, but none of them are required. Draken's AWP will finalize for Epsilon, and they stop a 4-round curse. They move to double digits. Last round coming up now.
I think one thing we've seen is there are many more solid after-plant spots and lower. That room, obviously the vent, that's always been there, but control room. There's just so many new places that you can play from. And it seems like upper, when they get left without having control, or the retake on upper just seems a lot easier for some reason. I mean, it's the same choke points, but the after-plant spots, maybe if they decided to go for HUD control, they'd have something more to work with.
Plus, with being able to plant on top of the bomb on B as well, that's so rough for the CTs to get back onto.
Right.
So, B seems to be a bit of a nightmare. Grenades landing on Rez in main. He is going to be forced away. 1 health. I think he nearly burnt to a crisp afterwards. You can see him still hiding, hoping his Mag 7 just sprints to Oscar's right-hand side, wrecking him in the process. No huge surprises where Angel is. We're going to get the drop finally on Zelos. Made a bit of a meal of that. And there's Disco Goblin. Angel lands headfirst in hell. And HellRaisers trail 4-11 at half-time. And this is where I get a little worried for them.
No, definitely. I mean, that's a solid half for Epsilon. That's really, really good. I mean, they started off strong, but they also closed out strong. I mean, they didn't just blow it completely. HellRaisers found their footing. They got a couple of fast plays that worked out well for them, but Epsilon stopped the bleeding and end this half getting to the critical rounds, right?
Again, the body language, I think, just sums it all up. For HellRaisers, not feeling it right now.
No.
This pistol of utmost importance. Epsilon have a nice round buffer, 7 in total. So I want to see now if Draken can continue this AWP dominance over on the T side. We discussed this before, how it is a bit more of a rough role to be taking on the terrorist side of Nuke. Well, I think Rifles actually play a more pivotal role, at least on the inner sights. That much is clear. Although we did see us land a couple shots out of Squeaky towards main.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where Draken may look to use his AWP as well.
Yeah, potentially. Being able to learn that while on the opposite side, there's potential for that as well. I mean, some of the angles are similar, it's just they're not identical, and that can make the difference with an AWP, especially versus really good players. And I guess, yeah, we still have a lot to see about Epsilon. I mean, if they close out the pistol, they might not have to show us much, but if they don't, then this could be a long game.
Using the newly added outside catwalk to start off with, and then coming through into T main, and the pistols are all on point. Epsilon, 2 frags for Freddy, leaving 0. Trying to battle his way through the odds, and the odds, make no mistake, are heavily stacked against him, especially considering he's going to be popping out a vent to make noise on the approach. That's the headshot. What? Looking for a second.
That's not supposed to go like that.
It really isn't. He was still partially on the ladders.
Yes.
It screws with your aim, and he still lands the headshot. What is this?
Absolutely stellar rush, though, outside. I mean, so much explosiveness. They all got in the hut, and it seemed like HellRaisers had no idea that was about to happen. So this moment now, 4 rounds away from taking map 1 off of HellRaisers on their map choice.
And in very comfortable fashion at that.
Yeah.
If Epsilon were to close from here, 16-4 would be, I mean, that's a landslide victory. And the thing is, HellRaisers as well, the score could have been a lot worse. One of their rounds came off the back of an eco charge onto A. Another one came off the 1v1 with Bondic. So on another day, this could easily be like a 14-2 scoreline instead. It has been dominant so far from Epsilon. And our HellRaisers with pistols and Kevlar and a couple of smokes. We're trying to stack their way out. Player and Squeaky. 1 garage, couple on A. Pretty standard stuff from HellRaisers, not stacking either side. Go for the peak. Oscar is going to lose a bit of his health, but so will Disco Doppler. Slow, steady approach from Epsilon, not giving anything away for free. This is where the outside catwalk can really pay off massively, but Angel, who was the user of this position, knows exactly what's coming up against him. 5-7 comes out, 2 frags for Angel, beautiful play. But the bomb still in the hands of Epsilon. It's not out in the open just yet. 0 in the meanwhile with the CZ is going to make magic happen, and Angel with a 3rd kill, looking for a 4th, goes for the spray, but the aim punch, I believe that was working against him. If not, the AK to the forehead finishes him off anyway.
Wow. Absolutely going above and beyond to get all those kills, but not winning the 1v1, that's a moment of salt. I mean, really, they have to convert here. On that eco, I mean, they bought up, right? They spent their money, not on common, but here are the first 2 5-7 frags, a 3rd headshot, and then so much damage dealt.
Oh, pardon me, he did have Kevlar, so it wasn't aim punch that was the reason for his miss spray.
Call him in a noob.
That's an unfortunate turn of events. Oh, he'd still wreck me. He'd still wreck me with his pinky and his thumb only. That sounded a bit dirtier than I thought it would. Brilliant. Anyway, SMGs are in play. 3 MAC-10s, 0 in the blink of an eye. All that stands for HellRaisers. Not the first time we've seen this, probably not going to be the last time in this best of 3, but it could be one of the final times on Nuke at least, because this map is getting towards the finish line. MAC-10 picked up, expendable weapon coming through Squeaky. Zero's used his smoke already. What's the play here, Londis? Just wait for an exit, or do you go for this?
I mean, the thing is, like, you're just thinking, like, you got to put rounds on the board. You have a MAC-10, half your health. You're coming at a choke point, they're almost certainly watching. Really, realistically, the best you can do is try to get an exit. And your best chance to get a kill is also by an exit. Can't obviously win the round, but here's an opportunity there. Get 1 kill. Actually, gets the 2nd with the MAC-10. No, doesn't get the 3rd, but at some damage dealt, I mean, for what it's worth, I suppose. And wow, apparently you can live right there in Squeaky.
He kept the AK away from him as well. I think Draken went back in to try and pick the AK up, but he came out of the round with the MAC-10, so a couple of minor victories. But again, the grand scheme of things, it really you know, putting a plaster over a gaping wound.
Yeah.
You're not really sewing it shut. And HellRaisers now dip deep into the pockets. They have raided the bank, and the weaponry is grim. Over for Oscar.
That position is actually one that I thought would become more standard. Just instead of playing like big garage watching outside, have someone dedicated to watching secret, like on the stairs, and then having one person to just watch the wrap on catwalk pretty much the entire round. Because you can be in big garage, but someone can still wrap above you, so you can't be responsible for outside in that way anymore.
Similar to the previous round as well from Epsilon, they're playing this super slow. Very reminiscent how Nip approached Cash T-side in similar situations. One of the best teams against Ecos. Sicko is going to land the first kill actually with the scout, so that's going to give HellRaisers a little bit of hope. Oscar has fallen down, and similar to the last time I saw them, Oscar really has had no impact whatsoever on Nuke. He's been completely absent.
Yeah, I wonder how much he wanted to play. That's a question I'd have for him.
I assume it was he's the person like leading the charge of we must play Nuke, because I just feel this doesn't necessarily play into his strengths. Maps like Dust 2 are crazy good for him, but not so much Nuke. Here comes Zero though. He is going to be aggressed on from 2 members, but it's going to be somewhat of a stilted push, and in doing so, Sticko's grenade will claim the life of Draken, so looking much better for HellRaisers, and then kills himself. I didn't see what happened there.
Oh my gosh, and now it's a 1v2.
Okay.
And the bomb's down in reachable distance.
That just happened. Might be that. 9 seconds left. And the rest is going to get picked off, so HellRaisers are going to secure it. Albeit a very odd round.
Yes, indeed. Not sure what happened, but I'm sure it was hilarious.
Well, I'm thinking he didn't have a Molotov, so he must have fell to his death. But didn't he get the kill in radio or vending? Like, where can you even fall to your death at that point? I'm so confused.
If you're creative, you can find a way. These really good players, you know, they come up with stuff.
Here comes the push from Epsilon. It's going to be a fast, squeaky charge, but there are so many grenades landing in their face that they're already being obliterated, being disintegrated out of round 20. Zelos in Hut is about to get wrecked from behind. Actually, Bonding got the kill as Oscar missed a couple shots. Not that it makes a great deal of difference. HellRaisers have brought 1 round back, but the score still 14-6.
Oh man, they gotta make a decision on whether or not they want to shake or fist bump. It's just a fast ticket to red if you end up picking the wrong.
You were like wiggling around in your chair. That actually triggered you, didn't it?
No, just
You're triggered.
worried for them. I didn't want them to mess up, you know.
So Epsilon once more with weapons. One of HellRaisers got bumped there, so the flash bounced off the garage wall instead of going outside. Oscar now on top of the hut. You're looking through. So would you say that, well, we got a little bit of a lull in the action? Sticko does have the jumping scout, actually, and he has just spotted ahead, so hold that thought. Draken has already been put down to 22. That's actually Freddy, so the second shot did land, but not the one that we both gasped at. Would you say that the outside catwalk is the biggest change to Nuke then?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone seems to just be abusing that. Whether or not the other team knows you're going to do it, they try to get someone around late. You know, either get them to not watch it and go around, or go around early, but seems to be like the key for T-Sun on Nuke. Like, the issue is that when you just make one part of the map like really overpowered for kind of the lesser side, like the terrorist side, then all the focus will be on that. The meta just becomes all about that. That's not a really good thing. So they got to make sure that upper and stuff like that are still very viable as well.
As we were speaking, the time has dissipated down to 35 seconds. The players on Epsilon down to 3 players now. Draken down to 22, Freddy 25 after eating the jump scout shot earlier from Sticko. I think he ate some negligible grenade damage afterwards as well. 17 seconds, it seems that Epsilon are going to be happy enough to just save into this round and keep the open 2 AKs going through into round 22. You can see here, Oscar, 12 for 17. You know, they had a discussion on the desk before, is he overhyped? I guess off this performance, that definitely would suggest maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't, like, just because of Nuke, I wouldn't even, like, I would completely call this a write-off of a map in terms of statistics, at least for for Oscar. I mean, he's overall just so consistent. You know, the issue is when your team loses like over and over again, then everyone, you know, starts to get their finger pointed at them. Especially someone who might not seem like they deserve any blame, right? Like, oh, this guy, you know, he plays so well, but they always lose. Maybe it's him. Well, it probably definitely isn't Oscar. Like, he's almost always doing his part, no matter what.
Well, they'll be looking for players of his caliber to step up now if they want to bring this back. We've already seen one epic comeback nearly be completed in the previous best of 3 with Ents on Mirage. Maybe HellRaisers trying to take us and successfully come back. Oscar going to be watching out into Secret. Fairly similar setups from both teams, though. Nothing's really glaringly obvious to me about the differences in how both teams have approached their CT and terrorist sides.
Yeah, it's just for CT, there's keeping the eye on the catwalk. It depends how they're doing it. Yeah, like playing Secret is really, really powerful. People used to do this on Old Nuke all the time. Oh, wow, nice shot from Draken, damn.
Oscar's head just got ripped clean off his shoulders. Freddy with another headshot as well, and Oscar just going for a peek at about a minute. Cost him his life, and now mid-control, or outside control I should say, has been completely lost, and as a result the bomb has moved itself onto the site and will be planted. Smokes try and keep the vision away from the Heaven aggressors from HellRaisers. Angel bags himself the frag. Zelos going to be throwing up the Molotov to try and isolate this push. Already the push comes in from Angel, lands the headshot. I'm not sure if that was in midair or not, but regardless, it doesn't really matter. It's all on Sticko. A 1-on-2. Zelos very low. Disco Doppler behind the site. He's been spotted, but he hasn't been fragged just yet, and that's the important part. And Sticko comes in for the frag. He has to go for this one. He's got the kid as well. As Kill needs to come in right here, right now. He picks it up. Does he have enough time? It's going to be close, but he has this one. HellRaisers is going to dodge another bullet.
Oh!
Oh, he doesn't have it!
Wow, match point.
How close was that?
Oh my gosh, that was so close. That was, I mean, a quarter of a second.
I was sure he had that defuse, and so was Sticko.
He pretty much played that the best he could. Jumping into a hot window like this, running and spraying, knowing that he has no time to waste, and then getting on the bomb immediately. That's heartbreaking.
How close was this? Oh man, that was like a millisecond.
And Epsilon do it, and they do it in a way the HellRaisers couldn't. They put together that T round nice and early.
I was setting up like they dodged another bullet. They could nope, bomb exploded in his face.
Yeah.
Okay then. 15-7.
Actually, two UMPs in the hands of the team who won last round. Oh, and Hut is being taken right now. Or Mini, excuse me. But
Play from HellRaisers again, though. They're not being too dismayed by that very close, narrow loss the round beforehand. In actual fact, they're looking to just take this one flawlessly. 4 kills go down all the way of HellRaisers.
yeah, overall, like they made a couple mistakes in that last round. Like here, it's done, right? But this is a round that Epsilon went fast. They lost. All the other rounds they played out slowly. They lost, right? And the one round that Epsilon were able to win was one where HellRaisers made 2 pushes and got punished both times. Will that happen again? I mean, even that one came down to a quarter of a second to fuse, right? Everybody died in the server.
Yeah.
It's hard to ask for that again. It's just that Epsilon they only need one more time. They only need it one more time.
Well, that's it. They have so many chances to finalize this map.
Yeah.
So there's no rush. There's no real stress on their shoulders just yet. Maybe if HellRaisers get towards 12 rounds, that's when the panic may start to set in. But they can afford to go for these fairly flamboyant eagle buys. They have time to burn. HellRaisers have looked pretty solid in the last couple of rounds, barring that last-ditch effort. This round is looking like it's going to go very comfortably the way of HellRaisers. Sticko lands the grenade. The bomb was in the hands of Disco Doppler, but he's also been silenced. So HellRaisers, for the second consecutive round, looking to take it flawlessly. So the plot thickens, Launders. Do you believe in the comeback just yet?
We're not allowed to bet, but I was wondering how likely do you think it is that this does go into 30 rounds and then OT?
Freddy, down and out. HellRaisers, 9th round on the board. Quite comfortable couple rounds in a row, but the reason for the save was, for this moment, we are going to have a buy, I'm pretty sure. Actual fact, they did go for deal, so is the economy good enough? Times like this, I wish I could see it.
One of the hard parts about getting into upper, and
Okay,
oh no,
so
they're
no.
just saving again, yeah.
I get that they have so many rounds to play with. to be honest, they don't need to force the issue. They can just go for this.
Yeah, well, their money got ruined, right, because they won that one round.
Yeah. So where are they going to look to aggress this time? Is it going to be down ramp side? Oscar has the AWP here. It's one of the best positions you'd assume for him to use it, as opposed to outside. Oh, does land the shot onto Rez, but partially through the box, so he's going to be charged down now from Angry Terrorist with pistols. In actual fact, he's gone super deep on this. Gone all the way down to the lower site in control room. But in fair play to Epsilon, they haven't made too much of a knee-jerk reaction. They haven't chased him down. That could be into a trap where the bait is sprung. So instead, Epsilon just playing this one slow. They have the M4 that was picked up the corpse of Zero.
I've always regarded ramp as the middle of Nuke because it's the place where you do, as a CT, commit someone there, but it controls the rotations and the split on both upper and lower.
It's a good point, actually. It certainly is. And also, you can then go up the side towards Hell, and then get up towards Heaven as well from ramp if you control it. So there's a lot of different avenues for you to pursue. And Oscar, you can see that he's having to dart back and forth. He's covering two angles by himself, but two complete opposite angles.
Yeah.
So it could just come down to timing straight up for Epsilon. It's a good smoke. He can't get anything done, spins around. This is the issue now, but he hasn't been picked off cleanly. He misses a second shot. Oscar is somehow still alive, though. He hasn't been punished. Finally, Zelos will get himself the kill. Freddy from Vent gets picked up next, and now Zelos with the AWP has to charge out onto the site. And a 10th round picked up for HellRaisers, but it was strange.
It was kind of a clean entrance into ramp, and I actually think that for Epsilon, they should have maybe saved that for their buy round. Now, they could simply try to go there again. It's hard to tell whether or not HellRaisers will try to fortify it. I mean, sometimes they might send someone into lower just to play dedicated lower, as they think, it could be a weak spot. It was really a weak spot for Epsilon in the sense that HellRaisers got like a, they only got 4 rounds in total, but I think 3 of them were in lower plants.
So you're curious if we'd seen another ramp push. So far, no, is the answer to that. But Epsilon always have the opportunity to go back there later on anyway. Oscar now assuming more of a event-centric defense. This does allow him to have quick rotations up the two sides, but he has an AWP as opposed to an M4. So actually going down to Secret instead. But we saw earlier on, he went for a late peek, and Draken destroyed him.
Yeah, clearly worried about that. I mean, Epsilon are in a stringent default right now. They're looking for any mistakes, and Oscar's actually looking for a pick.
It surprised me if he goes for a repeat here. They do have a nice smoke down from Angel, so we can still see on red container that flashbang's going to force him to scurry away. He goes back in for seconds, another flash lands in his face. Oscar has to play this one so intelligently. If he peeks up at the wrong moment, he will be a dead man.
I wonder how badly he needs to take this fight. I mean, I guess he doesn't want to have to opt from that far back, but if he dies, I just fear for the HellRaisers so much. And oh my gosh.
I feel like this shows a real respect for Epsilon's entry fragment potential as well. That they're trying to cull Epsilon before they even get onto the sites.
And 30 seconds do remain.
Yeah, 30 seconds. So Epsilon, I mean, they've poked and probed, but they haven't got much so far. Disco Doppler onto the site. It's all going to come down to Bondic, and he's been picked off instantly from Rez. This could be the moment where HellRaisers concede the first map. The bomb's been planted as well. Sticko, Zero, Angel, one of you has to be a hero for HellRaisers, I should say, alongside Bondic. Sticko the next to fall for the CTs. Angel coming through. Main Zero's up from the vents as well. We saw him land a pretty tasty headshot earlier, but it's unlikely he's going to get that again. And Epsilon are going to pick up the first map of this best of 3, and it was HellRaisers' choice of map on Nuke.
Yeah, it was. And again, a couple of pistols. The fact that it came to 15-10 means that HellRaisers maybe were all inning on their CT side, but the fact that they started in the second half after such a bad start to begin with, there's no way they picked Nuke without having prepared T-side as well. So definitely came up short by their own standards, almost certainly. Epsilon looked relatively